and see. So here we are again for another HCI info video. This time I think you're going to be talking about HCI and culture, yeah? So
yes.
Where do you want to start with that?
Well, culture's been influenced very heavily by the changing technology over the past, say, about 50 to 70 years. So it's changed a little bit for me, but not as much for other people because I haven't been here as much. But it's communication between each other's bit. Definitely, I've noticed that. Because I remember when I was younger, I had a mobile phone, but it wasn't really used very much for texting. I don't think it even could text. I can't remember. And not many of my mates had a mobile phone either, so it was just at school we were just like talking about what we wanted to do after school rather than what you do today would be to either text or go through the internet and on social networking sites and things like that. And definitely it has changed a lot, because I don't go out on a weeknight now than I used to, because I can just sit on my Xbox with mates and play a game. To be fair, it's more fun than some of the stuff we do when we go out.
Do you play online?
Yeah.
So you're with mates online, doing stuff online? Yeah. Have you met new friends online doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've known somebody for 5 years now from it.
From playing games?
Yeah.
And have you ever met up with them in real life? So they've become friends in real life as well as online. So that's interesting, because that kind of shrinks the world a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And do you play with people from other cultures as well? Or is it all just tends to be your friends?
I tend to only meet English people.
Right.
It sounds a bit harsh to say this, but a lot of other cultures seem to be harsh towards us.
Right, yeah.
On whichever game I play.
So it's a bit of conflict there.
Conflicts, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't provoke aggression. I might get frustrated at a game that other people might think it'd provoke aggression, but I don't intentionally do it.
Yeah, but you can see how it can easily happen and that can escalate. Do you think there's maybe people, if they're on a game from different cultures, they behave differently than if they were in real life?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If they met in real life, do you think they wouldn't be quite so aggressive, maybe?
Yeah.
Hiding behind the character, yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned mobile phones now. What about other communication things? What else has changed in recent years in the way of communication?
Well, the social networking aspect of it, many people just go home now and sit on the laptop on Facebook and just pretty much the whole night just reading through what other people have been doing during the day and just chatting to other people. It's
amazing how Facebook is, I suppose, and again it's like the ease of use, isn't it? Because it's such an easy thing to use.
Yeah.
That just about anybody's using it now. And
I didn't start using it till about a year and a bit ago. So before that it was Bebo, then MySpace, then Facebook. They were all easier one after the other. They were easier. Yeah. But I can't remember why everybody changed. Nobody said, "Oh, this is easy to use, so come do this." It's just like everybody seemed to hop onto one after the other.
It's kind of fashion, isn't it? And I think Facebook, with all these things, you've got to get a critical mass. Once you've got enough people doing it, then more and more people start to use it because everybody else is using it, and it just takes off, I suppose. I guess. I mean, recently in the news, I don't know if you've been following it, but there's been some controversy about Facebook and privacy. Have you come across that at all?
No.
It's just amazing that how many people aren't aware of the controversy that's going on there.
Well, I do think it's a bit. If you don't know how to do the settings right, you can get some weird things going on.
People can find out things about you that you really wouldn't wish they hadn't.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's partly because because it's so easy to use, people who are using it are just not that aware of internet security? And
definitely not that aware. It's like when I'm looking through, because on the side it gives you recent recommended friends and stuff that you might know, mutual friends. I look at some of them, and some of them they've got, you can't access anything. All you can see is their profile picture, and you have to add them to talk to them. But others haven't got you can see everything on it.
So they're not protecting themselves in any way.
But on the other side of that, there's I don't ever remember being prompted to make that happen myself, so other people can view my stuff.
And the other thing that I was reading though is not just about the privacy, but the people using Facebook. There's a lot more older people now using Facebook than ever before. Whereas at first it was like a student thing.
Well, my mum got it off
Yeah.
me going on it,
Yeah.
and she's got about 150 of her old friends on it.
Yeah.
And
So
a
she's
lot of
meeting
them she
people.
hasn't seen in ages.
Yeah. And are you going off to university next year? Or are
Hopefully,
you, hopefully. Have you got any brothers and sisters who?
I've got cousins that.
Right.
And so,
Because one of the things that your mum will find, and you'll probably find as well, is it's a great way of keeping in touch when you're away. You know, I've got my 4 lads are scattered all over, and it's great Facebook because you can see what they're up to.
I was
And
going to say my family. I've got
Yeah.
a lot of family on Facebook
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I don't see them very
Mm.
often anymore because we used to have Christmas at my grandma's,
mm,
and she's getting too old to do it now. So.
right, but you can keep in touch through something
Yeah.
like Facebook. Yeah, it's excellent. Okay, that's great. Anything else you can think of that you?
Well, there's the information rate, like
Mm,
everything can travel quicker. I mean, I remember when Michael Jackson died, I was playing World of Warcraft,
Right,
and
right.
I went into one of the main cities,
mm,
and everyone was saying like, oh my god, Michael Jackson's died. I didn't
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
This was about 12 at midnight.
Yeah.
So I went on CNN and waited for it to pop up, and it was there. And I ran downstairs and told my mum and dad, and
Yeah.
they put on Sky News, and then
Yeah.
it was there. They couldn't believe it.
It's a funny thing because I was at a pub quiz and one of the women that we were doing in the quiz team had a mobile phone and it came through on a mobile phone to her and she was the first one. So again, it's that speed of communication is amazing, isn't it?
It
You
must
mentioned-
have been nearly instantaneous.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because you haven't reached a critical mass. 4 people put it out, they put it out to another 6, they put it out to another 6, and suddenly it's really growing very quickly. You mentioned World of Warcraft there, and that's quite an interesting area because that's like its own culture, isn't it?
Definitely.
Do you still play World of
I
Warcraft?
don't anymore, no, but it's definitely its own culture.
Yeah. How does that work then? Tell us just a little bit about that.
It's like the game you play through itself. It's like from the first level to the last level.
Mm.
You mainly play that on your own,
Mm.
but the end game content is where it becomes you need to be with other people to get far in this game.
Mm. Mm.
And I think the main part of it being so, like, cultural and... Well, I think MMOs in themselves bring more culture together than, say, Xbox games.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
I've met a lot more foreign of people that were friendly
Mm.
on MMOs rather than
Rather than on
aggressive.
the kind of, yeah, I can understand that, like Halo or something like that.
Yeah,
Would be,
it's really...
yeah.
And the raids and hero instances,
Mm.
they take up a lot of time and you need a lot of patience
Mm.
and skill, really.
And coordination and
Yeah.
yeah.
So you've done all that stuff to get to the high end game content, but they've made it well so that you must spend at least 3 times the amount of time as it took you to get to the highest level, like making your character improved. From
So
what it can be.
you're tweaking it and getting it right, yeah. No, that's good. Okay, that's great. We're going to run out of batteries.